Hello, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you're joining us from.
Yes. Hello,
Welcome to another episode of Health and Wellness 360 with TFal Chi.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your support. Please let us know where you're joining us from. We're here joining you from North Carolina.
That's right. Durham, North Carolina. That's right.
Please type in the chat where you're joining us from this morning, this afternoon, because we know we're working with people from all over the world. So let us know where you're joining us
from. Japan, if you're in New Zealand, Nigeria, South Africa, California. Let us know.
It's good to see you this Saturday.
That's right.
And this is we're approaching Thanksgiving very quickly. And thank you for joining us. And before we start, we'll just like to introduce ourselves.
Why don't you go first, honey?
Yes. So my name is TFal. Oh, Chicago. Yeah. My name is TFal. I am an infectious disease physician. I'm professor of medicine. And I am an author, a podcaster, and a wellness coach. And I am the other half of TFal Chi. And I'm joined here with my husband, Chi.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Chi, and I'm a health and wellness expert. My focus is mental health, nutrition, and physical activity, especially in the realm of trying to stay as fit as possible. And I'm also a healthcare director and a wellness coach. And our mission at TFal Chi is to empower you, your family, and your friends to be the very best versions of yourselves. We understand the trajectory of chronic disease and complex cancers keeps skyrocketing. We dispense over 4.3 billion pills every year in the United States, but that does not even mitigate the issue of chronic disease. The important piece is we need to begin to look at prevention rather than just managing chronic disease and complex cancers. That is where our passion lies, trying to mitigate the rise and prevalence of chronic disease within our families, our friends, and our loved ones. Right, honey?
That is absolutely what we do. And again, we're trying not to come at this from a disease point, but a prevention wellness point. And so that is what we are about. Right. And that is our focus and our passion. So thank you for joining us. And you brought about healthiest versions of people for themselves and for their families.
Yes, and we talked about talking about this show, and as we have Thanksgiving coming up.
Yes,
I want you to talk and tell our audience why this family time, because this is one time in the year that you have so many people coming around, family, from the old to the very young ones, right? Why is this time critical, or why is it important? Can you share that?
Yes. So before we do that, just type in the chat for us. Are you hosting? Or are you going to family? Just let us know.
Yep.
So just let us know if you're the one who's having everyone over, or if you're going over to family. But thank you, Chi. So as a physician, a lot of our training, a lot of times has been from kind of taking care and managing chronic disease, right? Sure. But our focus is on really wellness and preventing our wellness as a state of complete health. But you bring up a good time about this, having everybody together. What better time to start to talk about our health?
Yes.
Because a lot of times we talk about everything else.
Right.
We talk about money, we talk about buying gifts for the holidays, we talk about whatever stress we're going through.
Sure.
But this is such an important time to share our family history.
Yeah, because for a moment there, because a lot of times we come together for gatherings, Thanksgiving holidays, and we never talk about these things that are important, right? We just come, we have a good old time, and we leave. So that's why, we want to dive into it a little bit deeper, why it's important to actually have some very meaningful conversations about health and wellness and where you are in the health continuum. Right. When you all come together, because you have grandpa, you have grandma, you have the little ones, you have the baby, you have everyone. When do you begin to inculcate that culture of wellness?
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. And the kids are watching. You bring up a great point. Yeah. And we can learn so much. So a lot of times, that is such a critical point, because we meet people who have no idea about their family history. around, do they have high blood pressure, diabetes, any history of cancers? Because knowing that is important for you in your primary care visits, because if you have a family history of certain cancers or certain conditions, it allows the physician or the person taking care of you to know that you may need screening earlier than the general population. So let's talk about that. Talking about what better time to launch into this 5 we talk about.
Right.
A lot of these conditions are the ones that are really disproportionately impacting our communities. So to be able to say, have you had your preventive care appointment? When was the last time? And encouraging each other to have that conversation.
That's key. And actually, before we actually dive into that a bit deeper, can you share with us what you were making for this holiday season? What are you going to have on your table for this holiday season? We'd like to see the kind of meals you're going to make and what you were thinking to make for your host, or what you're going to go eat when or what you're taking friends, or what you're taking over there.
Yes.
This is the time to tell us what you're going to eat.
Because we'll talk about that. Yeah. So we're saying, it's important to have that discussion around the health conditions in your family, to encourage others if they haven't had their physical. What better time to encourage that? Yeah. Talking about health tips that we've learned. So if you've been watching this show, you know about the importance of checking your blood pressure, knowing about your blood glucose, your cholesterol, about physical activity. How about sharing that during Thanksgiving, making that a launching pad for how the family goes forward, right? Challenging yourselves to how many steps we're taking, how much water we're doing, using this time to get information.
And why is that even so critical? So it's some numbers there for you to just digest for a moment. So about 30% of young adults in the United States today do not qualify for military service, because they're too heavy, because of obesity, the prevalence of obesity, right? Childhood obesity is it's north of 20%. Childhood obesity is already north of 20%. Obesity generally in the United States is over 30%, and by 2030, we're going to be at 50%. Think about that. And this is just obesity. We're not even talking about all the myriad of other conditions that actually cluster and come with it. Heart disease, cardiovascular issues, issues with your knees, your back, and all those other issues that come into play. Diabetes, high blood pressure, sleep apnea, things like that, right? So there's so much that clusters in that space.
And we really have the opportunity to start to have that discussion. A lot of times people think, well, in my family, all these things run. So there are genetic reasons, but a lot of times, a lot of families will have similar lifestyles, the way we eat, the way we move, all of that stuff. So when we start to have these conversations and normalizing, having discussions around health and wellness, it's really, really critically important. Because one of the things we know is that you may not come from a healthy family, but a healthy family can come from you.
That's right. And you can start
absolutely
from when kids are young. If you have young ones at home, have fruits on your kitchen counter, on your kitchen island, versus having cookies. Because when children are hungry, they will eat anything.
Yeah,
literally, they'll eat anything. So if you begin with that culture of having bananas, mangoes, oranges, when they play outside, when they come in, they're going to eat up everything. But if you have cookies and sodas and chips, then you begin to set up that culture. You begin to build up fat cells within your family that will impact them when they're older, right? So that it's very critical to start at a very young age to begin to build that culture within your families. If you're making the choice about, if you're the one who makes the choice about bringing in food, doing groceries and all that, be the change you want to see in the family, right?
Absolutely. And if you didn't catch our last show 2 weeks ago about reading food labels, it's really, really critically important. But when we talk about normalizing that, did you get your numbers checked? What are your numbers? Encouraging those in the family who may not have to say, you know what, it's important. When you've gone, what we know around health and wellness, let's share that. We're very good about sharing other things that we find, tips about sales, things about, let's share tips that we know around health. If we've had a primary care visit, ask somebody else, have they had that? If they haven't, because they're worried or they're scared, Tell them that's normal. I'll call in even if I can't be with you at the appointment. Those are the ways in which we make sure that we normalize these things and say, is this something that you have done? And sharing when people are going through health challenges, sometimes it's hard to share in a logical, but the family needs to know because it impacts the health of that next generation.
Yeah, it's very important.
And knowing that you could look out on the outside like everything's going well, but really you need to check your blood pressure, your blood sugar, because a lot of people think that if you feel okay, everything is well. And ignorance is not bliss.
It's not, and never will be.
Never will be.
It's very important. There's no shame in actually talking about these things, you know, because oftentimes people are worried. If you love someone,
it's a family.
Family, you talk about these things because they will impact you in a very serious way. Eating healthy will make you, you know, think and move and feel better about yourself. And if you want to move and feel better about yourself, you want that for your loved ones. You want that for your friends, right? So these are the things you want to do, right?
Thank you.
Thank you, Alice, for putting that up. So even talking about issues of, you know, physical activity, even when you come together as a family, look around your family, ask yourself that question. Are we as healthy as we can be? Don't be worried about talking about these things, you know, because you want to have, because if we're healthy as we can be, we can have so many more holidays together.
Oh, you brought up that point around, and that's the thing about getting the family on board. Obviously, it starts with you going in as that person, saying, I'm going to be that person. But you have to understand how that impacts your family.
Shelley, thank you.
Yes. How that, we'll talk about the kind of foods you can make that are healthy, how that impacts your family, because when we do these things and we stay healthy, quality years and quality time that we're going to spend on many more holidays together. But also, when we talk about generational health, it's a part of building generational wellness, which includes generational wealth. If the money that you save from working and your pension, all of that goes into prescription medications and hospitalization. That's money that could have been passed on to the next generation. So this impacts you in the short and long term.
Well, guess what, honey? It's not just passing it on. What about you can spend it yourself to travel with your own family, right? So it's not just about passing it to anyone, which is a great thing. But if you're able to put these monies away, 401k pensions, and you're healthy, you're not giving it to physicians and health and wellness people. You're actually able to travel and feel good. You're not in a wheelchair going through airports. If we know that there's lots of people who, unfortunately, who need those things, right? Because they're going through some challenges. Yes, but you can mitigate issues that would cause you to get to that point, right? So this is why we like to talk about, you know, these issues all the time. Chronic disease is on the rise in our communities, and not just in America, but around the world. You know, but you can be the change, right?
Yes.
Because it's a tough challenge.
It is.
You go everywhere. You're seeing sugary drinks. You see, you know, vending machines with sodas everywhere. You know, we're drawn to those things. But if you know better, what happens?
You do better.
That's right.
You do better, and you be that agent. So a lot of times we talk about it's, you know, habits. If you've done something for a certain couple of decades, you're going to need some time to make these new habits a habit, right? So we talk about putting fruits and vegetables out. We're challenging you this Thanksgiving, you know, have every family member, because again, sometimes by just eating more of the good things that feed your good bacteria, you just don't have space for the bad stuff. Challenge every family member this Thanksgiving to bring one of their favorite vegetable and their favorite fruit. Think about that.
Think about
Simple.
And
everybody has one that they like.
And we'll give you some tips here.
Yes.
So you can substitute, you know, instead of putting sugars in your sweet potato, you know, why do they call them sweet potatoes, right? They're already sweet, right? And sweet potatoes are one of the healthiest vegetables you can get. You can read it out. It's one of the healthiest vegetables you can get, sweet potatoes. Forget pouring sugar. When you pour sugar on sweet potatoes, it's junk food. It's no longer sweet potato, it's junk food, right? So sweet potatoes, no sugar added. Get your kale in there. And turkey is awesome. Turkey actually, what does it put in your system? Tryptophan.
Serotonin,
melatonin helps you sleep better, helps your body relax. So making choices. If you're into rice, try brown rice, right? Try spinach, right? Try things like golden beets, because sometimes we think about beets, oh, I don't like that color, but they're actually golden beets that taste like potatoes. You put olive oil, salt, and pepper, throw it into your oven, bring it out, it's baked, it's nice and crunchy and sweet. Yes. So there are different things you can do with vegetables and fruits during the holidays, right?
You actually talked about olive oil, lemon, pepper. So spice it up. Spice it up and have color, right? The variety of the color, but knowing that what you're doing and nurturing your cells, because we talk about it, every single cell in your body is made from the food that you put in. Think about that, because our cells are turning over and they're working with what structure they have, right? Think about that. So are your cells being made from things from the earth, the plants, and the natural things, or are your cells made from preservatives and additives? And if they are, then we can understand these chronic diseases. So again, making it a family thing. The kids are watching. The older people, it's never too late to learn new things. So if you've learned stuff around health, share it with your family. Find out about family history. Let your family know that if you don't check your blood pressure and you don't check your blood sugar and you don't know about your cholesterol, doesn't mean that they're normal.
Right. And about high blood pressure, if you're dealing with those challenges or you have family members that are dealing with the challenge, make sure they have a blood pressure cuff at home.
Yes.
So they can self-monitor. It's very important because when you know your numbers, it helps you do better. It helps you mitigate issues, right? So you're not in the emergency room because you didn't know that your numbers were, and because high blood pressure is called what?
Silent killer.
Silent killer. It doesn't tell you it's coming. It hits you and boom, and that's it, right? So having, your blood pressure at home, if you're dealing with those challenges, is very important, right? So making good choices, honey.
Correct.
Making good choices.
Making good choices and really talking about prevention messages, making it multi-generational.
Correct.
Having the kids be part of, if you have children as part of this process at Thanksgiving, having them be part, let them come in the kitchen and see what, a lot of kids don't even know what a vegetable or fruit looks like. All they see is, they don't know, I mean, they know what apples are, but usually with chocolate coating on them, things like that. Let them be part of that. Chopping stuff, let them pick the vegetables and say, okay, I like this one because of the color. And knowing that the reason a lot of us end up adding all this sugar to stuff is because over time our taste buds are so blunted with the added stuff. So things don't taste sweet until people add stuff. Give it some time. Try some of these changes and see what happens.
Yeah, just to share with you, about a century ago, about 98% of meals were eaten as a family. About a century ago, 98% of all meals were eaten as a family. Today, it's less than 50%. And when this happens, when we don't eat as a family, kids are more likely to develop depression, bulimia, anorexia, and obesity, and cardiovascular diseases. Just think about that, just the idea of eating together, because when you eat together, think about smoking. Kids are less likely to smoke pot and cigarettes when they eat together as a family.
Some of the research and
research data shows that.
Because food is such a central part of our socialization as humans.
Sitting to talk about it, because when you're there, you're talking about what you're eating and what you're bringing to the table, right?
And you're also talking about other things. If you're eating together, there's no way you're not going to talk about how was your day?
Right.
What are the challenges that are going on?
Correct.
How can we do better? How can we help each other? Because you're having that conversation.
Sure.
So Thanksgiving can be a time to launch that everybody gets together and almost like each family decides that we are each other's accountability partners on our wellness journey.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
We have support.
My wife and I actually keep ourselves accountable, right? So I had to learn it's the culture of sleeping better and getting to bed without, all the, computer stuff. She taught me that. And even till today, she's like, honey, we've got to turn the lights off. Boom, and that's it. And we talk, we cook together. Almost every single meal we cook together. So I'm chopping stuff. She's giving me stuff. We cook together all the time as husband and wife. And not does it just keep us healthier, but it keeps our union stronger. That's what happens. When you eat as a family, your union is stronger, your bond is stronger. So there's so many elements to that. There's so many variables to that, right?
Right, absolutely. Yeah. And when you talk to your family members around their health and seeing their primary care provider, knowing their numbers, you can continue to have that conversation even after Thanksgiving is over. Think of it as a launching pad for us to have these discussions. Now you leave with, I know my family history. I know the things that run my family. Sometimes we have friends over, right? Sometimes we bring, college friends or people over. So the timing of that conversation doesn't have to be in the middle of it. We can do the food stuff and talking about stuff, but there are times where we can get together in a small group and talk about these things that are important. We don't want the next generation to miss out on something that if they knew that information would affect how they navigated life.
Yes.
It's really
critical. So another challenge we want to share with you today is challenge each one person coming to your home or you're going to not bring soda. Yes, we said it. Don't bring soda.
Or sweet teas.
Soda is literally poison. You're getting diabetes and degrading your bone density, period. Soda has phosphoric acid in it, and it's got a bunch of sugar in it, over 80 spoons of sugar in one can of Coke, right? So why, if you know that soda, it doesn't even matter if it says it's sugar-free. It's not sugar-free. It still impacts your waistline. So challenge yourselves to have water or milk or, anything that is not, that doesn't have added sugar.
Yes. Challenges, and maybe this is the first time you
no soda.
And say, you know what? Oh, but the kids like apple juice, orange juice. How about water? And then they have oranges. Have oranges ready. Water, and then they actually have the apples. Water and the grapes.
How about making the juice for them? If you have a juicer at home, throw a bunch of oranges in there, make them the orange juice. Why go buy it?
Have them make it. When we have our nieces and nephews around, they love, and juicers are inexpensive. You can get a very inexpensive one. Literally put it through the kids to see apple become apple juice and drink it. It looks brown, just like the one in the store, except it has no added sugar. This is also, they see things happen. They're not going to want the store-bought one. So if you say this year, we're not doing soda, we're going to have a lot of water because you're already eating a lot of really good food and the actual fruits. So we like apple juice, we'll do the apple. That's the kind of stuff. Challenge everyone to bring their favorite vegetable and do something with it.
And soda.
No soda.
Yeah.
Just do those two things and see.
Yeah.
And really say, you know what? Everybody has to try everybody's favorite. Yours is spinach, yours is kale. Think about that.
And,
all that.
when we'll talk about, and there was something we were talking about this week as well, in terms of the, a lot of times during Thanksgiving, we do see canned green beans. If green beans can be on the store shelf for 6 months, why would you want to eat that? Or 2 years? Why would you want to eat that? Why don't you just buy your own fresh green beans, spice it up, and eat it?
And that's how grandma used to do it.
That's how grandma used to do it,
Let's go back in time. And actually let grandma, a lot of times now, the kids can learn. So the beauty of, if we are vaccinated and getting together these holidays, let us use the advantage of multi-generations. The teenagers, a lot of times they're just on their phone and stuff. Everyone kind of like, let them tell us about apps that can help us track our steps, our heart rate, things that we didn't know on our phones, but let them learn from the older people how you do things. Let us use this time, the multi-generational that we have, to actually impact our health in a big way.
So I don't know if our parents are watching, but we both grew up in families where we were both in the kitchen all the time with our parents, helping them chop peppers, tomatoes, and things like that. Pick stuff out and bring it into the home to help them cook. We both did that. And my wife and I have known each other since we were 5 years old. And we've been doing this, so all these cultures, built into us, being able to eat together, being in the kitchen, because when you're in the kitchen together with someone, you learn. You're less likely to be out there buying, junk food and all the fast food out there, because you control what goes in there. Over 70% of foods that you find in grocery stores today have what?
Added sugar.
Added sugar. Trans fat.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
Ellis,
Yeah.
for putting that up about the generational discussion and
Right.
being physically active. Challenge yourself this Thanksgiving, right? We're going to walk the next morning or even after dinner if it's not too late. Walk around. Challenge yourself to steps. One of the things we talked about is talk about dancing.
Yeah.
Every generation gets to choose their soundtrack. That's 3-minute songs. If you have 3 generations, that's 10 minutes of dancing, jumping.
Correct.
The kids learn
Exert
that our
yourself.
music was good.
Yeah.
They learn our music, we learn them. No shame. Everybody has to try it out. Incorporate dance, walking. If you're going shopping, people do a lot of shopping the weekend after Thanksgiving. Park really far from wherever you're going and do walks, do laps. Really challenge yourself and make it a thing. But following up. So Thanksgiving is one day or weekend, using that as a launching pad to follow up. So we talked about getting your numbers. So in a month, 2 weeks, did you make your appointment? Be accountable, because the healthier your family is, the longer time you have with each other, quality time that you spend with each other.
Honey,
and let's make it.
We have 4 minutes. Why don't we make it make sense? Come on, let's do that.
Okay.
That's what makes it make sense
before we wrap
because we have
up.
4 minutes. That show goes too quickly here. So what's it going to be, honey?
So we're just going to say what's new with COVID vaccination.
Yeah.
Very briefly, what's new with COVID vaccination is the FDA and the CDC approved booster shots for all US adults. So if you remember, it was for people with certain conditions or age. Now it's been approved for all adults. So go get your boosters. And kids all the way down to 5 years old now can get the COVID vaccine. So especially everyone should be getting vaccinated. Kids all the way down to 5, they can get vaccinated and they're already getting vaccinated.
Sure.
And adults get your booster shot. So
that's
get vaccinated.
That's that. So, and now back to our show, and quickly we have a couple of minutes here to wrap up here. You know where to find us. We're at TFal Chi on social media, Facebook, as well as Insta. And our website is www.tfalandchi.com. We want to see you consult with us. We do webinars, we do corporate events, we do faith-based events. We want you to consult with us. We have free consults on our site, and we want to be able to help you deal with whatever challenges you're dealing with. So you know where to find us. We want you to follow us. And what you see us wearing is in our store as well, and you can purchase any one of these if you want.
Yes, thank you so much. Ask about the numbers. Be important and intentional around commitment to your health and the health of your family starting this Thanksgiving. And it's very important to know that what you do and everything that you do every day to make yourself healthier is in the path of the right direction. We always talk about EMTS.
So you want to eat well. You want to move as much as you can. You want to keep thinking about your purpose each day, and your purpose has to do with something bigger than yourself. So how can you make the life of your fellow man better, right? Or the life of society better? Then you want to sleep more as well. So you want sleep that is restorative and sleep that is sufficient, right? So EMTS.
So when you go, for those of you who've been watching us all these months, when you go to Thanksgiving this year, do the no soda, lots of water, get the children involved. Know that a healthy family can come from you, regardless of what the situation is. And you can thank you, Diane. Happy Thanksgiving. And know that it is important every day that you're on this journey towards a healthier version of you. And we're here to support you. As you can see, 30 minutes goes by quickly, but if you talk to us, we can have a more in-depth conversation with you. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Stay well, stay healthy.
We love you. Thank you for always being here to support us.
Yes.
We couldn't do this show without you guys. Share this message with your audience. Tag us, tag your friends with this message. You can help somebody be healthier.
Yes. Starting with you.
Starting with you. Thank you so much.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you.